not matching up with earlier statements. We want to know what you think about it all. Do you believe President Obama lied to the American people when he said that he had declared the Benghazi terrorist attacks to be an act of terror on September 12th? Vote in our online poll. Go to facebook.com/Blue Dots tonight and cast your vote. We'd like to know what your view is. We'll have results at the end of the broadcast tonight. Join me now, Congressman Louis Gohmert of Texas. He is Vice Chairman of the House Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security. Mike Singh joins us, Managing Director of the Washington Institute, former Senior Director of the National Security Council. Good to have you both with us. And let me turn to you first, Mike. The President now changing his tune, as we outlined at the beginning of this broadcast. Man, that's a tough load to carry for the administration, isn't it?
Well, Lou, facts can be pesky things. I think especially when the facts don't really comport with the talking points that you've been using. And I think here, what happened in Benghazi really undermines two of the administration's key narratives about the Middle East and national security more broadly. Number one, that Libya was a successful, even model intervention. And number two, that al-Qaeda is essentially defeated and that maybe even terrorism is defeated. And I think these facts really sort of hopefully will force us to have a more serious discussion about these national security issues.
You think the President lied when he said he had called it an act of terror?
Well, look, Lou, as I said, I think that, when these facts come to light...
You don't want to answer, just say that.
Look, Lou, I think that when these facts come to light, sort of, as I said, that they don't comport with the narrative. And so the administration is going to have to sort of digest this and change the narrative, and that can be a very tough thing for administrations to do.
Congressman Gohmert, do you think the President's lying?
Of course, I was a district judge and a Chief Justice, and you have to look at the transcripts, and he said something about we weren't going to put up with acts of terror, but he never called this an act of terrorism. And it's the same thing, like Michael's talking about. Look at the last 4 years. I mean, they took away the word enemy combatant because they were afraid it might offend the people who are trying to kill us. They redid Homeland Security so that they have a committee called... So yeah, he lied. I mean, he went for over 2 weeks and would not say this was an act of terrorism and it needs to stop. But like Michael said, their whole scenario for these 4 years is there's not any real terrorism. It's violent extremism.
Yeah.
So that's following their scenario.
What is the impact? Mike, let me go back to you on this. What is the impact when the world is watching and a president puts forward, we can call these reversals, flip-flops, false statements, changing narratives, but what in the world do other governments think as they watch the president do this bald-faced with 18 days to run just about until Election Day?
Well, Lou, I think what it does mainly is it confuses people. I think there's a lot of confusion out there in the world right now about our policies in the Middle East. Where are we going? Our policies on things like Iran and other issues that have come up in these debates. And you hear, frankly, a shifting narrative about sort of where are we and where are we going. And I think that it undermines our prestige and our influence around the world because, still in the Middle East, people are looking for American leadership. People are looking for us to articulate our strategies, and they're not hearing it from us.
Congressman Gohmert, you get the last word here. Is this what is leadership by any definition?
Of course it's not. And it's humiliating to this country to have a president who won't come out and face, the tough media. Not that there's any outside of where you are, but goes on puff shows. But let me tell you, it all points to the fact that this administration will not let people who come in and talk straight truth. As one intelligence officer told me, they have blinded us to being able to see the enemy. They have